Welcome to No Apologies on Beck, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. I'm your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Hintz.
Good to be here.
I don't know if it's Fridays or
It just
what.
makes you laugh every single time I say something. I just mix it up a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, she said something different now." Okay, yeah.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
It reminds me of kind of like Les Nessman on WKRP in Cincinnati. That kind of that series. It's good to be here. Yeah. So, all right.
Okay, we have a special guest tonight, Mr. Foxtrot.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Mr. Whiskey T. Foxtrot.
I'm really looking forward to it because I have, not seen him here.
Yes,
because the last time we had him on the
guest.
show, I was actually doing RNC things. So
Guest co-host was here, and I think he blew her mind.
I love that. Well, I watched it, and it was very, very fun. So look forward to a
Right.
very fun show today. We're going to get things started here with something not so fun. We are going to talk right off the bat about Romney Family Security Act and Biden's plan. Both of them have competing plans
Right.
that do similar things.
Right. So we'll get into a little policy here. We're looking at something that both Republicans and Democrats are obviously bringing up. There was a very good article in Reason.com or Reason Magazine, and there are several other articles, Tax Foundation, and you can read all about it. But there are plans in which there are going to be direct payments to families for children.
Right.
And
just going to say,
yes.
I don't know how I would have reacted to this if I had young children or if I, were about to have children. Is this an incentive for people to have children? Because
Well, you're jumping right into to the discussion on it, which is exactly that. You have to figure out what it is that whatever you subsidize, you get more of, and whatever you tax, you get less of. And what they are, in effect, subsidizing is, in other words, they're incentivizing people having kids, and they're disincentivizing people working. It's both
at the same time, too.
No,
right.
I think there is a very, very vast division between the two plans. One is horrible, and one is actually, I think one has merits, depending on how it would be enacted.
Are you saying that about the Romney one?
Hear me out.
Okay, okay, just saying.
All
Color
right.
me skeptical.
So from the Reason article,
right.
The plans differ somewhat in their specifics. Both aim to subsidize the cost of raising children in a more direct way than the federal government currently does. Biden's plan sends parents direct payments, either $3,600 per child if they're under age 6, or $3,000 per child if they're between 6 and 17 years old.
So not 18-year-olds, it just goes to 17.
Goes to 17.
Okay.
The payments would be phased out for people making $75,000 or a couple earning $150,000.
Okay.
So they phase out. Now, it's allegedly for 1 year.
Nothing's ever for 1 year, Rick.
No. And this is classic Democrat or leftist strategy, is to say this is just temporary to get us over the hump, and then it becomes permanent.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly. So it will become permanent, and I think that it's clear that that's what the plan is. Mm-hmm. The cost for Biden's plan is estimated to be $120 billion a year. Okay.
Okay.
So and that's it. I mean, there's more details, but that's in essence it. Throw the payments out. It's an added program. Costs $120 billion a year. That's the Biden plan.
Can you explain the reasoning behind throwing the money for having children? Is it just the cost of raising children? Is it why are we giving people money to raise children?
Well,
why?
Part of it is the leftist ideal. Two factors. One, to create a constituency which is dependent on you, mm-hmm. which gets something from you and wants to keep getting it, and therefore they need to keep re-electing you or your party or whatever it is. And the other is their ever-present belief that people are victims and they need government support. You cannot live your life without government support. So this follows along both those trains of thought.
I was a little disturbed that there was one also competing from Mitt Romney, and he has kind of a similar idea where he wants to pay people to have babies, but
Yep.
but in a little different way too. A parent or parents qualified for the full payments during all 17 years of the child's eligibility, he or she would receive a total of $57,600 per child under Biden's plan, and under Romney's, $62,600. I'm like, what? More money from the Romney one than the Biden one? That was a little weird.
I know, but here's the thing.
Okay.
And going along with what you said, they are expecting Romney's plan to be $254 billion per year versus Biden's plan of $120 billion per year. But what they're not factoring is that Biden's just a gimme. There's nothing to offset it. It's just a new gimme, $120 billion. Romney's plan has he's using the elimination of certain plans, modification of certain plans,
right,
decreasing benefits to offset the cost. Now that absolutely
that makes sense.
Would have to be double checked by the Congressional Budget Office,
right,
you know, actually have these things in place. And that's why I say I like Romney's plan much better. In fact, obviously Biden's plan is horrible. Romney's plan, for me, the jury is out. It may actually be good. I may still be opposed to the idea, but if what it's doing is eliminating other programs that are much more wasteful,
right,
and streamlining and creating a more efficient type of payment, which is less wasteful, less bureaucracy, it could be a step in the right direction. It could be.
Who do these guys pretend is paying for this? Because,
that's the thing. No matter what,
we're going to be paying for this.
Right. Well, and it's the kids, these kids that they're supposedly helping. They're the people going to be paying for it because we're just taking on debt.
Kicking the can down the road.
We're just absolutely taking on this debt. So just to go into a little bit of what Romney's plan, how he plans to pay for it, he would replace the existing child tax credit program. Right, and so that's that program.
A good replacement.
Yep. You get money back, even if it's more money than what you paid in taxes. You get a certain amount back. Now, that program does require you to have at least $2,500 of income.
So you have to have a tiny bit of income.
A tiny bit of a job, right? So that's a downside to both Romney and Biden's plan is you don't have to have any job and you get the money. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, he would get rid of that. There would be a significant overhaul of the current income tax credit, earned income tax credit. And let's see. Oh, SALT. This is the one I really, really like. Okay. So you can take a tax deduction for state and local taxes. SALT, state and local taxes. So the people, say in New York, that pay huge property taxes and huge local taxes, they get to deduct those from their federal income tax. So taking that away would disincentivize these blue states from taxing their people so much because we in the red states are subsidizing those blue states, and this would completely take it. So that part I love about Romney.
Well, maybe they could apply that to something else other than paying people to have babies.
Right.
So.
And Romney would also get rid of TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, which is what we think of as traditional welfare. So there's a lot of overhauling and how he comes up with the money. So there are some good things. This would, in my mind, would be kind of a transitional step to actually getting significant reform and decreased spending.
Right. Well, we'll see how that works out. We'll watch this one as it goes along. So is there a name for this one? Yes, it's the it's got
Family Security Act. Family Security Act.
The Family Security Act.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you can decode that when you hear that. All right. When we come back, we will have whiskey.
Tango Foxtrot.
Tango Foxtrot.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
There's nothing more important than family. And at Prairie Rose Family Dentists, we get it. That's why we have more locations, more dentists, specialists, extended hours, pediatric clinics, and even emergency appointments, so you can always be seen. Book your appointment today at prairierosedentist.com. Prairie Rose Family Dentists. We are family.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. We are so very happy to have Mr. Foxtrot, Mr. Whiskey Tea Foxtrot. Thank you very much for being on the show once again. Coming out of the bunker, everything's good with you?
Yeah, everything's fantastic, Rick.
Well, good. And are you still spending time in the bunker?
I am completely secluded in the bunker, except for when I'm not, like now.
Yes. Well, gosh, we're privileged. Lori was not here last time that you were here, and she was super excited to meet you. I did warn her that you cause women to ovulate. That didn't seem to bother her. So
it's not a problem.
So, Mr. Foxtrot, there are so much that I want to hear. Tell me what's been going on in your life. I don't know if maybe anything in the bunker. Inform us. Update us.
Now that we're on the 357th day of 15 days to flatten the curve, been running out of things to do in the bunker. So I had to get a little creative. I decided that I'd start to distill my own home brew.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, there were some supply shortages. It was hard to requisition stainless steel or copper. I had to improvise.
Okay.
What did you do?
Well, I ended up creating my own vats out of the skulls of vanquished commies.
For distilling liquor?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Very Viking-esque.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I bet there's a certain essence that
sure
comes with the alcohol.
It does make you exude a little bit more toxic masculinity than you normally would.
I bet that's the case. And are you selling that? Is it just for personal consumption?
What are you, the cops?
Are you? Tell me what you're using
he's telling everybody
for
what
fermentation. Are you using grains, and what's happening? Because the bunker, I don't know what you have for supplies.
I do have grains. There's a lot of fields in North Dakota. Lots of fields in North Dakota. No ventilation for fermenting, though. I'm getting twice the aura. I'm just getting to breathe that in.
I did notice that when you came in. It was, I don't think Lori's used the word pungent in her trivia, but
Not yet, but maybe that's coming up in brain food.
Pungent, malodorous, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah.
And get me a dictionary. Let me see what malodorous means. I think he's making fun of me.
He's not making fun of you at all.
What else are you doing in your bunker?
Well, haven't had a whole lot to do, like I said, besides distilling. So I figured that I'd read up on some current events and see what's going on. Came across some interesting news that the governor's mansion finally got new acoustic panels in it. And I'm excited about that.
Are you?
Frankly, I think it's a long overdue quality use of taxpayer funds. I mean, it really spices up the mansion a little bit. Gives it a little bit of a je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Really, Mr. Foxtrot.
The acoustic panels do that.
They do, and they're particularly important when you're entertaining foreign dignitaries or technocrat eugenists or, something like that on a monthly basis.
Anybody in mind with the technocrat eugenicist?
Oh, no. Just, Bob or Bill.
Bill, perhaps?
Maybe Bill.
Regular ones.
Best of all, they block out the sound that the help makes when they're cooking. So that's really important.
Yeah, I hate it when the help is so noisy in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay, so acoustic panels. So what else is going on there in the bunker? You were doing some reading. So.
Yeah, doing some reading. Decided to take up reloading too.
Oh, take up reloading?
Yep,
Okay.
I scoured the countryside for ammunition, and it is as scarce as a coherent statement from Biden. Nowhere to be found.
That is very true. There is a major shortage right now.
There's no ammunition to be found, and I didn't stop at ammunition. I continued looking. I looked for freedom seeds. I looked for supersonic ventilators. I looked for pew-pews. Nothing.
Not even pew-pews?
Not even pew-pews.
That's so frustrating.
That's a basic life necessity.
Right.
So I had to reload my own. And I couldn't find bullets. I thought maybe I'd cast my own bullets.
Uh-oh.
I melted down all the coins that I could find now that the big box stores don't have any anymore. But it turns out that there's no metal in coins anymore, so that didn't really work. So then I moved on. I thought, what about powder? I need gunpowder to make ammunition. Nobody had any gunpowder. So I had to improvise there too. But I had an idea. I went to the halls of Congress and I found the original Green New Deal. And that thing is full of unicorn glitter. And I just sprinkled some of that unicorn glitter into my empty cartridges. That stuff is flammable.
It's flammable.
And eco-friendly. It's getting me down to my carbon footprint of 0 that I'm trying so hard to reach.
What does it do for the trajectory of the bullets, having the unicorn glitter in there? Does that have any effect at all?
Completely flat shooting.
Really?
Defies the laws of gravity and physics and economics and some other stuff.
And do you have large quantities of this? I'm wondering how much reloading can you do with unicorn glitter?
This guy worked for the ATF.
I know he does a lot. He may ask a lot of really bad questions.
A lot of questions. A lot of Brian questions.
I'm so sorry about that.
Well, okay, so I'm going to want to see some of these. But you never did come up with bullets. So what the heck are you shooting with unicorn glitter if you don't have bullets?
That's a good question.
Oh boy.
Alrighty.
Yes. So tell me, you're essentially famous because you're on Rumble, right?
I am on Rumble.
You're on Rumble. You've been on YouTube. Do you go on there anymore, or are they commies?
Yep, they're definitely commies. Mm-hmm. But I still go on there because they're big commies and they've got a platform, and I don't. And I thought about creating my own, but then they just take it down. So I'm still going on there for now.
Okay. And do you see what's next for Mr. Foxtrot?
Well, I'm glad that you ask.
Okay.
So I've been taking a deep look at my life and trying to figure out, now that I've got the fame and the good looks and the youth, what's next for me? And I had to think about it a lot and did some soul searching. And I thought about the last time I was on your show. And we talked about the fact that not only are you a famous TV personality, but you're also a doctor. Mm-hmm. And as you'll recall, I too am a doctor of prepperology.
Yes, you are.
But then I heard out on the interwebs that both you and Lori are politicians. Is it true?
I'm not really a politician.
Sort of a politician?
Kind of a politician, but not really a politician. I was elected, but I'm not really legislating. Like he does, he legislates.
Sort of a politician.
She sounds like a politician. I don't know. That's a very squishy answer.
Politician answer.
Very squishy.
I'm thinking of being a politician too.
You should.
May I?
You should.
Which camera am I looking at?
Okay, the one with the little red light on it.
That makes an awful lot of sense.
Yeah, here, you're waiting to zoom in. You're going to be on this one over here. There we go.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to take a moment and talk directly to folks in North Dakota if I could. I was out the other day at a local diner that you're all probably familiar with, and meeting with Bubba Ray and Cindy Lou, something German or Norwegian sounding. And they said to me, Whiskey, this state needs you. We need your innate prowess and your super intellect and your stunningly on-point hairstyles. That's what this state needs right now. And I said, tell me more, because I'm egotistical like that. And they did, and they continued. So, long story short, long conversation in, they convinced me that I needed to run. So I may.
Fantastic.
What are you going to run for?
I'd vote for him.
Or you're just going to run?
Just going to run. Completely aimless, no idea where I'm going.
Fields?
Yep, the success is going to fall on me. I see it coming.
If you run, it will happen? Is that your... That's an interesting campaign plan. So,
deep.
Having had a couple of campaign plans myself, I usually find that they involve a little bit more detail, like knowing what office you're going to run for, but you're not too concerned with that, it sounds.
Details for the little people, Rick.
You're beyond that.
Yes, I'm a big idea kind of guy. Huh. They're so big, I don't even get them yet.
Well, have you met AOC? Because I think you and she are like...
Is she single?
Simpatico. Oh, yeah, what you said.
She's the inventor of that unicorn glitter.
Yeah, that was a fantastic invention, too.
All right, Mr. Foxtrot, thank you for being with this segment. I'd like to carry you over for another segment if you'd be willing.
Yeah, that would be great.
We're going to be back with Mr. Foxtrot. I've got some bills that you and we have been talking about. I want to get Mr. Foxtrot's take on them.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
In southwestern and south central North Dakota, on any given day at any given moment, a Dakota Community Bank and Trust customer is logging in or signing on to do their online or mobile banking. We believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service in-house and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our customers anywhere, like here or here, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
If you're a Beck Fiber customer or the dependent of a Beck Fiber customer, you might qualify for scholarships. Beck awards scholarships to seniors headed to college or to students attending University of Mary. Go to www.beck.coop for eligibility guidelines and applications.
The experienced professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless, and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Did you know the Foundation for Rural Service awards scholarships for rural students? The scholarships range from $2,500 to $7,000. Go to www.frs.org for information and applications.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck, your after hours oasis tonight of insanity, because we have Mr. Foxtrot with us. By the way, I'm your host, Rick Becker, and our co-host, Lori Hintz. She's in the dress. And Mr. Foxtrot is in the jeans, the denim.
All right.
All right. So, Mr. Foxtrot, it's always fascinating to hear about life in the bunker. I've had Manhattans that were washed in bone marrow, a whiskey Manhattan, right? Washed in bone marrow. But I've not had any alcohol that was distilled from the skulls of, what kind of skulls were they?
They're from vanquished commies, Rick.
Vanquished commies. And do you get those overseas or California, New York? What are we talking?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah, you can get them.
They're everywhere?
Yeah, you don't have to travel far to find commies, Rick. They're all around.
Fargo?
All around. Fargo, Bismarck.
All right.
Alrighty.
So, Mr. Foxtrot, we have you here. I'm going to ask you, we've been talking with our viewers and about various bills. We covered a lot of them, the legislatures and crossover. I wanted to hit a few of them with you, and I've not prepped you before because, we just need true essence of Mr. Foxtrot. First one up is a bill, 1420, which is kind of ironic, but it legalizes marijuana. How do you feel about that, Mr. Foxtrot?
Well, I'm not big on the marijuana myself because I'm already really squinty.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if it was related. No.
Yeah, if I had any of that kind of stuff, I'd probably be walking into walls. Would be a good plan.
That's like terrible squintiness.
So a no-go for the recreational.
Well, a no-go for me. You do you. Don't get behind the wheel, because then you might be in the way of me in the big pick-em-up truck.
Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. Okay.
And I don't like slow drivers. We're eating Doritos.
Aha. People eating Doritos and slowly driving are a problem.
They are, and it's required that if you're smoking marijuana, you got to drive slow because you're fooling the cops. And you got to have munchies.
Uh-huh.
And if you aren't doing those things, are you even being an American?
I don't think so. What do you think about the edible marijuana? Because wouldn't that kill two birds with one stone if you got the munchies?
You know, you may have just completely flipped my position on this because I like eating. I really do. I don't know if you noticed that when I came in, but in real life, I'm very big. You may have flipped my position on that.
Okay.
Now I'm interested.
So you're interested. All right. Next up, something that likely is going to be near and dear to your heart. 1323 is a bill that was passed in the House which prohibits mask mandates in the state. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think that's a terrible idea.
It is, really? Oh, I was so
idea.
wrong.
Yep. See, whiskey searched high and low, trying to find the COVIDs. And they're nowhere to be found because they've been cured by an election.
He's not wrong.
Because science.
Because science.
And not just any science.
Yep.
The science.
Because the science.
The science is better than the normal science because you can't question it and you can't replicate any of the methods.
Do you think there's a trend right now to fire Fauci? Do you think that should happen?
To fire Fauci? No, because he's been right on every single issue, including the ones that he's also been wrong on, depending on when you asked him.
So you're against the masks being prohibited, so you're in favor of masks.
I think everybody should be double masking right now, irrespective of the fact that cases are almost non-existent. Because I believe in science, and I'm not a science denier.
Yes.
So 3 or 4 masks would even be better.
It would. Well, okay. Just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover.
You certainly
I figured
cannot.
that you were not going to be in favor of masks.
Wear your masks, lots of them, and then throw them on the street corner. because they're highly contagious.
Good point.
Full of the COVIDs.
Full of the COVIDs.
All right, I've got another one, 1498 we talked about recently, stand your ground. So that means that if you're on your property and you're being attacked, or someone's, you're with is being attacked, you are able to defend yourself with a firearm, for example, using deadly force. You don't have to try and retreat first. Good idea or bad idea?
This is still America, right?
Yeah, it is still America.
Do we retreat? We don't retreat in America.
We do not retreat. We do not retreat.
We're maybe not as good about it as the Australians. They put the kangaroo on their flag because it's one of the only animals on the planet that can't retreat. It can't go backwards. We should be more like Australia, except for without the whole massive gun buyback thing. Because that was a dumb idea.
That was a horribly stupid idea.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well.
No, it didn't work out for them.
Never does.
Compare them with New Zealand, and it's no better. New Zealand didn't have a gun buyback.
I'm still trying to picture a kangaroo retreating.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I hate to actually take for granted anything, nothing personal, Mr. Foxtrot, but I find that a fascinating little factoid if it's true.
Oh, my head's full of all sorts of useless information that I can't capitalize on and make any money with.
Okay, so kangaroos can't go backwards.
They can't.
Okay, good to know.
Wow. Okay, another one that's somewhat related. Firearms, I know, are important to you, apparently. And there is a 1383, is a bill I have, that if the federal government makes laws regarding firearms and ammunition that are more restrictive than what we have in North Dakota, our local and our state law enforcement can't enforce those federal laws. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, that's a big thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
That's a huge thumbs up. I can't even think of anything to argue with that. Why would you want to argue with that? State nullification's a great idea.
I like nullification quite a bit. Are you a fan of the 10th Amendment, I take it?
Oh, yeah, I'm a fan of all 34 of them.
34 amendments.
All of them. 57 states like Obama talked.
We have math problems too, it's all right.
6 out of 5 Americans are bad at math. It's statistically accurate.
Know, right?
You can't argue with statistics.
You can't, or science.
Or science.
He's not
the
wrong.
science and the statistics.
Yes, thank you.
That's
And
great
the
stuff.
truth, or your truth.
That's right.
Or your facts. Your facts are better than facts. They have an extra adjective in them. That makes them superior.
All right.
Thank you so much for
Mr.
coming.
Foxtrot. WT Foxtrot, thanks for being with us. I suspect we will have you on again, sir. If you come out of the bunker routinely, let us know. I'd like to see what life is like for you when you're out. Also, last question, are you still married?
I don't know.
You're not sure yet? Okay.
We'll see when I get home.
We'll be back, folks. We've got another segment here coming up, and
it's mailbag.
It's a doozy mailbag, boy. Don't miss this.
It's a good mailbag.
Howdy folks, it's a Line Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our hay-bossing breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Line burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spoon-rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the game. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the County Line.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's best contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Did you know the Foundation for Rural Service awards scholarships for rural students? The scholarships range from $2,500 to $7,000. Go to www.frs.org for information and applications. If you're a Beck Fiber customer or the dependent of a Beck Fiber customer, you might qualify for scholarships. Beck awards scholarships to seniors headed to college or to students attending University of Mary. Go to www.beck.coop for eligibility guidelines and applications.
Welcome back. No apologies on Beck. We are back for segment 4, which is
Mailbag.
Mailbag.
We got to do something. We have to have some kind of an intro for this.
This is
than
very
just jazz
half-hearted.
hands.
This is
That's
very kind
lame.
of like.
That's very lame. Okay, so mailbag tonight. We're going to start at Facebook and end in email. That we're going to start with this little Facebook post that showed up on our social media. We need to take matters into our own hands and not leave it to the legislature. No property tax on your residents in North Dakota, just like the farmers get. It should also happen to all of us who do not farm. We also need term limits on our legislators and executive office holders. And then my favorite one is below that. The purge is coming. That's fantastic.
I love that. It's very ominous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they mean that there's a period of time in which all laws will be suspended and people will go on killing sprees.
I don't think that's what they meant. I think what they mean is the rhinos will be outed and eliminated. That's what I think the purge is coming.
Oh, wow, that would be awesome.
Right? That's a good purge.
But I'm not sure how you're going to get rid of or just not pay property tax.
Yeah.
Just like the farmers get. Well, they do pay some property tax, but I know what you're saying. Also, term limits for our legislators. You're not going to like me saying this, but every 4 years you have an opportunity to not get them back in. So
it's an automatic term limit.
Don't rely on us to put term limits on when you won't elect the people that should be in office, if that's how you feel. Ooh, I'm sorry. Was I too hard on you?
No, that was actually pretty good. All right, we're going to move on. Now, this one, we have the premise one. Okay, so Rick says you can support good projects for North Dakota while also asking the government to live within its means. Do you agree? And so that was the setup for the following responses. Yep. Stop spending money we don't have. And this is North Dakota people who actually have a clue. I just love this so much. So rhinos in D.C. and Bismarck, look out. There is a resistance building. Kind of on the same purge thing, yeah. Resistance building, and you may be out of office or in the minority in 2022 or for sure in 2024. Your constituents are unhappy whether you realize it or not. This sounds threatening. I'm a 50-year-old straight voting GOP voter, but I'm about done voting R. I hope we have a Trump party by 2024. I doubt that that's going to happen, but just common sense from Rick. And I'm so sick of our Republican legislators and office holders and their spend, spend, spend policies. And it is embarrassing. I think I'll join Rick in the libertarian ranks. Yup. Interesting.
Well, I am in the libertarian ranks, but a libertarian with a capital L is a political party. And although I think that they are valuable players in the political game, I'm not a capital L libertarian, although I have many friends who are. I'm a classic liberal, which is more of a libertarian, and I will remind people that are freaked out by the term libertarian that probably most of you are very, very much in line with libertarianism. And I will also remind you that Ronald Reagan said that there is essentially no difference between conservatives and libertarians.
Very well done. And moving on. So this one was, of course, the meme from the other night. It was fantastic. Has to be shown again. Is this how you want your state legislature to treat you as a taxpayer? And it's so, so good. So the responses to this were fantastic. No, but I do support hiking the corporate tax rate for tech, pharmaceutical, and online companies, especially those sucking up small business profits. Do you want to come back to that? Or do you want to?
You mean, do I want to respond to it? Or
yeah,
come
do you
back
want to
to it
respond? Do you want to respond to
Okay.
it?
Well,
do you want to go
I
through
think I understand the sentiment
Right.
and the passion of this person, but I don't agree with it. They're talking about corporate tax rate. They're talking about income tax. And I hate to tell you, we don't really have any online companies. I don't think we have pharmaceutical companies, and
Right.
we have very few to none technology companies. Therefore, we have no companies that pay income tax. If you're talking about sales tax, you can't really, well, I mean, you can, but I don't know that it's, when you increase the sales tax, all you're doing is hurting the consumer, which would mean North Dakota citizens.
Right.
So I get the sentiment, but it's not going to work that way.
I like the last one too. That's my favorite one too. This picture is so accurate. They are doing the opposite of what we need. And why, all in caps.
Yep.
Why do we keep sending money to other countries when our power grid needs serious help, supposedly?
Yeah, pop back to that picture if you would, please. Because this person says it's so accurate, or so with 6 O's. And so what we have there is allegedly you go up to the fountain, right? And you have a choice of, in case it's hard to read on your TV, you borrow more money, you can raise taxes, you can just keep spending record level amounts of money, or you could cut spending. And when you look at which of these sodas would you want to have if you were the North Dakota State Legislature, it's really hard to decide, so you end up making yourself a suicide. Unfortunately,
right.
You pick the 3 that North Dakotans don't want you to pick instead of the 1. I would say that the cut spending for me would be like Diet Mountain Dew. And the other 3 would be like something super sugary Fanta. And I don't even know. But okay, so let's go to...
All right, now we got the good stuff. This is really interesting. So you received this email first.
This is my .gov, and it's not a no apologies email. Folks, please send me emails with no apologies. The reason I brought it in, though, is because it references the show. So I thought it was fair game. So it says, there are thousands of us in this state that are exhausted by the shame and humiliation people like you bring upon us. Masks don't work? Even for a no-DAC Republican, the stupidity of that one is rare. Do the honorable thing for once and quit. I think that was a bad placement of a comma there. So yeah. I'm going to do the honorable thing for once and quit.
There you go. Well done.
That TV show you host, absolutely unwatchable. Couldn't get through 5 minutes. Clearly you have no shame.
Clearly you have no shame.
There is still time. Please quit. Please.
Wow.
That was by James.
That was
I'm not going to say the last name.
fantastic dramatic reading of that. Thank you for that. That was lovely. So you responded.
Yes, I responded, and I thought I was polite, and I said, you bring up very good points substantiated with incontrovertible evidence. I will resign immediately. Thank you, me. And, I thought that was very polite.
Did he write back? He wrote back.
Yes, okay. He wrote back. He wrote back just yesterday.
Okay.
And he said, like no other state in the union, this one elects only lemons to the legislature. It is pathetic. And your TV show? Just awful, as you know, little man.
Wow.
Well, James, don't be so angry and hurtful. I've already agreed to resign. I'm just waiting for the Secretary of State to tell me what forms I need to fill out. Because, as I've said, you've shown that clearly I need to resign. There's nothing I can argue with in what you said. It was very, very well laid out. And so as soon as I hear from Secretary of State, I will be resigning. So please stop saying these hurtful things.
Mean things.
I'm out of tears at this point. I don't know what else I can do.
Okay, well, I'm very sad too. Okay, we're coming back with Off the Cuff with Rick, so don't miss it.
There's nothing more important than family. And at Prairie Rose Family Dentists, we get it. That's why we have more locations, more dentists, specialists, extended hours, pediatric clinics, and even emergency appointments, so you can always be seen. Book your appointment today at prairierosedentist.com. Prairie Rose Family Dentists. We are family.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Now is the best time to plan for your 2021 farm equipment needs. North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing is currently offering early order savings. Take advantage of big savings on North America's broadest tillage line, including the Super Kohler Samurai and the innovative VRT Renegade, as well as the best built, best backed land rollers in the industry. Talk to your Summers dealer today or go to summersmfg.com to learn more about early order savings available on all Summers equipment.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. It is segment 5.
Last one of the week.
Final segment. 5.
Fifth day, fifth segment.
And we're doing off the cuff, which I like.
I know you like this one too. And I actually like it because it allows me a lot of latitude. It doesn't necessarily, it's not very structured. What we do with Off the Cuff is I ask questions about news stories that I've seen or things that are topics of the day and things that don't necessarily deal with specific numbers for you to have to, pop out of the top of your head or anything like that. But they do oftentimes have to do with policy issues that you might have a comment on. So that's what Off the Cuff is all about. So my first one is an article that I found in the Gateway Pundit that talks about 5 Oregon counties. Now, you and I have talked about secession before, but 5 Oregon counties are trying to leave and become part of Idaho. Have you heard about this at all?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of it. The initiative to move swaths of largely rural and eastern and southern Oregon into Idaho qualified for the May 18th special election ballot in 5 counties. So these 5 counties can bail, leave Oregon, go to Idaho, Becker, Grant, Lake, Malheur, and Sherman counties. And the state protects Antifa arsonists, this guy says. He's like, they protect arsonists, not normal Oregonians. It prioritizes one race above another for vaccines and program money and in school curriculum, and it prioritizes Willamette Valley above all rural Oregon, Mike McCarter, president of Move Oregon's Border, said. So he's like, we're out. We're just going to Idaho. It's an interesting view of what the state would look like, too. So the radical left is forcing away average people who just want to live in peace, they say. So what is wrong with joining a more like-minded state? And is it wrong to take it to a vote? Or is that it's within their authority and their ability to do so? So is there a problem with leaving?
I don't, well, legally, I don't know. I don't know what all the ramifications are. I would think that it would have to be approved at something from a federal standpoint as well. I love the idea, to be honest with you. And now there are some pros and cons to it, but I think that if you feel that you're not being represented and especially if you're a contiguous county with another state or group of counties, to say, you know, we would be better represented by going over here. And you take that initiative, you make something happen, who knows, and then you have the state that you want to move to. They would probably need to have a statewide referendum, not a referendum, but a measure to say whether they want to accept. I think if you had both groups saying that. Now, the problem is you may need a statewide from the state from which they want to leave also approve it. But if you could do all of that.
But if you're in a blue state like that and these red state people want to bail and go to a red state, why not let them go?
Well, and that's the thing is that in this circumstance with these very far left progressives running Portland, they may say, go ahead, leave.
Good riddance.
And if you have both states, I don't know why the federal government would say no. Now, the downside would be that if you're hoping that Oregon would at some point get some semblance of recognition that they're going down a very, very bad path, you're chopping off a portion of the state that is the most likely segment of the population to try and right the wrong.
Exactly.
So now, on the other hand, if you get rid of that leveling portion of the population, you leave the crazies in the majority and they take themselves down, implode, the pendulum then completely swings, and next thing you know, Oregon, or the subunit of Oregon, is now a conservative state.
Right.
I mean, I find it fascinating. I love it because I love citizens, grassroots movements taking it upon themselves to do something to better their situation.
That's kind of why I brought it up, because I thought the same thing. I thought, good for them, you know what, they're being proactive about it. They're actually putting it to a vote.
Yeah.
Those 5 counties have to agree at first glance, and then after that we'll see what the rest of the state says too.
Right.
So, but
Exactly.
I like it. I think it's again, grassroots initiatives are always good in my mind. So, okay, my second topic deals with a Federalist article by a gal named Kelsey Bolar. Dems are preparing the way for banks to refuse service to Republicans. Now, the premise of this is, as background, Obama instituted something called Operation Choke Point. I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but the program was dubbed so under former Attorney General Eric Holder. Used the power of the federal government to target legal yet leftist disfavored businesses. I don't know if you remember that, but these include, of course, gun sellers, pawn shops, and short-term money lenders. So different agencies within the Obama administration denied wrongdoing in various ways. And at least one bank admitted to actually choking off 3 legal enterprises at the government's behest. They just choked them off. Money, dozens of business owners, many of them gun sellers and short-term lenders and things like that, said the bank accounts and access to credit card processing totally gone. Platforms were suddenly stymied, shut down, no explanation, no opportunity for recourse. So the Biden administration is supposedly, by abusing powers of the federal regulators, Operation Choke Point 2.0 would stifle the bipartisanship, unity, and healing President Biden claims to desire, in my mind. But he's talking about another 2.0 of this choke point. So what can businesses do to combat financial cancel culture? I mean, is there anything that they can even do about it? And do we need to start our own banks?
Well, I've actually thought about that very, very seriously, because it's not impossible. I mean, there have been certain acts that have passed in the past few years that make it much harder, but you could start up a bank. So that's why, I mean, you're hitting right into one of my points, which would be if a bank wants to suspend all services to, say, a gun manufacturer, or it doesn't matter, anything that would be allegedly aligned with conservatism or a different political ideology, I don't care, let them. And if it's difficult enough to find good banks that will do your business, someone will start one.
Right.
And talk to me, I'd be happy to go in with you on a bank that caters to conservatives. I really would. The problem here is, what is the government doing in this little issue?
Right.
Because for the government to have choke point or choke point 2.0, that is horrifying.
It's horrible.
And it is a form of fascism, because government is working hand in hand with private business to coerce by various means what they want on their political agenda. I mean, it's horrible. It's hard to even express how serious an issue that is, how egregious that is.
Exactly.
If they want to do it on their own, that's fine. But these government officials should be indicted if they're part of it. Absolutely.
I absolutely concur. All right, my final topic is a lighter one.
Okay.
Pantone Color Institute has picks every year. They've done this since the year 2000, and Pantone, according to a USA Today article, I've had the story tucked away for a while because I just found it hilarious. They did this in December, and now that we've had 2 months of this. So the year 2021, Ultimate Gray and Illuminating, a cheery butter yellow are the colors selected as the 2 independent colors that come together to create an aspirational color pairing, conjoining deeper feelings of thoughtfulness with the optimistic promise of a sunshine-filled day. Pantone announced. Now, the funny part of this is that Pantone's 2020 pick was classic blue. It was meant to represent, wait for it, stability, constancy, and connection for 2020. So these are the colors. So my question to you is, now that we're 2 months into 2021, what would Rick's 2 colors of the year be rather than...
Okay, let me think.
rather than golden, buttery yellow and gray, because I don't think those are...
I like red and orange.
Okay, red and orange it is. Perfect.
And if you had given me a heads up, which we never do, I could have gone with the whole thing.
How about just an angry salmon? That'll be the perfect combination of the 2. All right.
Angry salmon.
We will talk to you next week. We're going to be...
Happy salmon. Let me remind you about a game I like. Happy salmon.
We're doing HR1 next show. Join us after the weekend. Bye-bye.